All right. So just taking these first few moments, this is such a great pose. It's the embodiment of surrender, right? So we can just take this posture and surrender in this beginning of our yoga practice or hatha yoga practice. And anything that feels present for you that you'd like to offer and surrender, you can just bring it into this moment and again, find your breath. Some nice deep ujjayi. We'll start the ujjayi breath. And we are in this beautiful place of balance, right? Of like between winter and spring. And so just finding that sweet place in the middle in your body, the place between the in-breath and the out-breath. So taking in a nice big breath in. You can fill up the back body, the lungs, and then exhaling, let your sitting bones get heavy and soft and settle. So I love what Kath and Val brought in, just settling deep into the core. There's sort of like this thawing, right? When we have a lot of activity, we can just take moments of grounding and thawing and releasing the excess kapha. Great, and we're just gonna slowly begin to come into some movement. So you can stretch open the fingers out in front of you, hands and arms. And then nice and slowly lift the hips and come through the spine, rounding the back and the upper back. And then coming into an arched back position, opening the chest, looking up, and then exhale. You're just gonna come right back into Balasana, the child's pose. And let's move nice and slowly, inhaling. So we are still here in this element of earth, water, moving a little more slowly, stability, and settling back in. And then just find a little rhythm here. Inhaling with the in-breath, taking you forward, opening, expanding the chest, heart. And on the exhaling, you're just pulling back inside your little core space. We'll find about 2 or 3 more breaths here. Inhaling and exhale, feeling free to breathe out through your mouth and releasing the jaw if that feels necessary. And yeah, another breath or 2. And I like to do a little lemon lime squeezing in the face just to let go of any tension or holding there. Great. And then inhale, we'll come up onto all fours and let's actually just sit back on the heels and we're going to come into a little Kapalabhati breathing to get that element of fire working. So we'll take the arms into a V position and you can actually make little cups with your hands, just like you're catching a little bit of grace here, which we all made. It's all nice. It's all here. So just open up your hands to catch that grace, open up your heart. And let the lower back relax here. Okay. Yeah, so just use as much effort as needed to hold the arms out into this V position, which is, you know, the angles are structural, so we can hold a container for the fire. And so then we're going to start some Kapalabhati breathing, and we'll take a deep breath in, and then exhale the breath all the way out. And inhale another breath in, and then you'll start your Kapalabhati breath of fire, pumping on the exhale, pumping the navel. Just find your own rhythm. And just imagine you're stoking that fire, stoking the fire in the navel, the belly, the digestion. Little smile on the face. Exhale the breath all the way out. Inhale. Just bring the hands together and touch the fingers, touch the palms. And then exhale, just sweep, letting the pressure out of a cork, release the hands to the floor and just touch the earth and find your breath. And you'll find that balance for a moment, noticing the fire moving in your body, the air. And then we'll just do one more round, inhaling, reach the arms out in a V position, cup the hands, opening up to grace. Exhale the breath fully, relax the lower back, and then take a big breath in and begin. So maybe this time you make them a little shorter. Like you're fanning the flame. Cutting through some of that stagnation, moving through the patterning. Using the element of air and fire to wake up a little more. Last few. Exhale the breath all the way out. Inhale, bring the hands together and just touch for a moment. And then popping that cork, exhale, sweep the arms wide and all the way down, touching the earth. And just take a moment to feel the movement of prana, the movement of energy in the body. You might feel a little lightness coming in. Just welcome it and welcome the spaciousness. Great, and then let's open our eyes, come back onto all fours, and we'll spread open the fingers here. And we're just gonna come into a little more cat-cow movement in the spine. So as you inhale, arch the back, and exhale, draw the navel to the spine as you round chin to chest. Inhaling, arch the back, lengthening through the chest. Look up. Exhale, curl and round navel to spine, rounding. And just find a few more. And if you want to do a little more up down movement a little more quickly, sometimes that can be cleansing, purifying. So you can just start to find a little more movement up down. If you've got that lower back stuff going on, I would suggest going slower. Using the breath to guide the movement. Great. And then we'll come back to neutral. We're going to take a big step forward with the hand and stretch through the arms, let the forehead rest towards or to the floor. And just imagine that your underarms here are like sails catching the wind. Yeah, so you want to lift and float the lower arms up into the upper arms, armpits. And then as you exhale, soften and melt the heart. So take a few more breaths here. Inhale. Yeah, lifting and floating. And exhale, softening and melting. Melting the tension, melting the hardening. A little smile across the face always helps. Good, and then one more breath here. And this time we'll lift the chest. And on the exhale, walk your hands over to the right. And take a little side stretch here in the left waistline. Reaching back through the left sitting bone, and then inhale and exhale, we'll walk over to the other side. And find some opening into the side ribs, the side waistline, the side body opening. Beautiful. And then inhale, we'll come back up to center. And let's go ahead and stretch the left leg back behind. And you want to keep the thigh rolling inwards. So we're going to keep the hips level to begin with. And then lift up through your chest. So when we sort of open our heart and lift, it brings us in towards our potential, right? So if you feel any of that collapse or stuckness, you just want to lift and float and bring some air into the heart. Right arm out in front, and the thumb reaches towards the ceiling. Good, and we'll just hug in a little bit to stabilize, and then reach out with the out breath, opening up the joints. One more big breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to squeeze knee in, elbow in. Stabilize the core. And then inhale, just nice and slowly reach back out again. Exhale, hug all the way in. And inhale, reach it back out. And last one, squeezing in. Good, and then we'll switch sides. So right leg back. And take a moment to pause, rolling that back thigh bone in. And then we want to find that lift in the navel, right? Lift the belly here, Uddiyana Bandha, and then left arm out in front. Yeah. And just take a moment to pause, to stabilize, to hug in. And then from there, we can start to reach out a little more, getting a little more space in the joints. Inhale. On the exhale, squeeze, hugging in. Inhale, reaching back out. Exhale, hugging in. Last one, inhale, reaching. And then exhale, squeeze. Great. And then we'll come back onto all fours. And let's come back into downward dog. So just lining up creases of the wrists, spread the fingers, and lift the hips up and back. It's always like a wonderful moment. First dog pose of the day. So you can just take these first few breaths and just feel your way through your body. Notice what's open, notice what's less open. Treat all the parts of your body with balance and wholeness, right? And we'll inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the heels, bend the right knee, exhale, left heel down, and just walk your dog side to side. Yeah, no, it's like it's worthy of some sound. Yes, it's just thawing out all the frozen places. And there's beauty in kind of pulling all the way in too, right? We just don't want to get stuck. Yeah, sort of like our emotions, if they get stuck in a story, they freeze. So then from here, we're going to walk up, keep the movement, walk the feet all the way to the tops of your mat. And let's separate the feet nice and wide to the outer edges of our mat. And if you need to this morning, bend your knees a little and inhale, look up halfway and exhale, fold. Yeah. And hang out for a few breaths. Feel free to bend the knees, move the hips a little side to side, shake out the head and neck, let your hair down. Yeah. And then as you're ready, you're going to bend your knees and roll up just one vertebrae at a time, moving slowly, steadily, come up onto the feet. Beautiful. And then just take a moment when you first get here and feel your body upright. Your feet on the ground, legs underneath you. You can scoot the feet a little bit closer. Yeah, and just take a moment here, finding your body in the vertical space. Feel gravity holding you, supporting you. Come into that right relationship with gravity. And how to do that is really just a lot of letting go and surrendering. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is take our blocks. This is for Catherine, but for everybody. A little lower back stability. So if you don't have a block, don't worry about it. You can actually just start with a fist between your thighs, just to get the activation of the inner thighs. And you want to squeeze that block and start to move it towards the back plane. And this is actually going to stick the butt out a little bit, right? To begin with. Then you want to drop the tailbone down, and that gets the length and the grounding. Okay, and when you do that, you can start to feel the front of the spine growing tall, right? So we'll just take the hands to the heart here for a moment and feel that stability that comes. This is the beauty of winter, right? And kapha and the earth and water, it's stability, right? stability and flow. Okay, so we want to feel that in the body as we go into some of more of the air and fire elements today. Always first finding that stability. So we'll take a deep breath in, opening the eyes, and exhale, reach back, interlace the hands behind the back, loop the shoulders back, open up the chest big. Exhale, fold forward, keep squeezing that block. And you might come just a little tiny bit down. Okay, some of you might be able to come all the way over. Yeah, and keep squeezing. And then you can actually release the hands, let go of the head and neck. Great. And then inhale, look up. Exhale, hands to your hips, and inhale, slowly come on back up. And we'll take that block out. Great. And it's good, right? Yeah. So we'll come up to the top of our mats and bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart, find Samasthiti. Sama is equal, standing, Stitihi. And so the balance, right? We come back to this principle of balance. Okay, so you can just start to feel balance of front to back, of what's behind us and what's in front of us. On either side, earth to sky, in breath and out breath. Most of us right now are in a little more of a state of in breath, right? We've had to isolate more. So maybe we play a little more with the out breath today with offering. So take a deep breath in, breathing into the core, and then exhale, let the eyes open softly, release the arms down by your sides. Stay rooted into the earth and inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Sides of the waist lengthen. Exhale, spread the hands wide and slowly come forward. And if you need to, bend your knees. I'm having to a little bit this morning. Good, and inhale, look up, hands on the shins, straighten the spine nice and long. And on the exhale, left leg steps back into a lunge. Bring the back knee to the floor. And inhale, come up into crescent lunge. Yeah, so just pull back a little bit in this first lunge, bowing slightly in, which is going to open up the back body. Okay, and then you can keep that balance of back to front as you look up. A couple of breaths here, looking to your thumbs, relax the shoulders, breathe. Take another deep breath in. And then on the exhale, just going to do a slight twist here. Open up the arms to the right. So this hip stays stable. We want to hug the outer hips towards each other. And then twist from the navel, open the heart, look to the right. Smile. Inhaling, arms back up. And then exhale, hands come to the earth. And let's step back to a plank pose here. So stepping back. And again, we find the stability. So navel lifts, heart softens. Yeah, we want to hug in as we extend out. Deep breath in, and then either knees down or straight legs. Coming all the way onto the belly. Come into baby cobra. So elbows come in, shoulders back, and then inhale, reach the heart forward. Good. Exhale, come down. One more time, Bhujangasana, elbows in, shoulders back, heart open here. So if you can find some air and buoyancy in the heart. And then exhale, lower. Beautiful. Press back onto the knees. And you're always welcome to take this half dog pose or come back into full Adho Mukha Svanasana. And breathe, take a full breath, feeling the whole shape of the pose, your connection into the earth, up to the sky, and everything in between. And just listen to the inflow of the breath and the outflow of the breath. Such a beautiful thing to tune into, just the flow of the breath. And then exhale all the way to the tail end. Look up between your hands, step your left foot forward, bring the back knee down. And inhale, reach the arms up. Again, just take a slight pause here, even bowing in. And you can open up the back body a little bit and then curl back and look up. Yeah. So we balance stability with ease, with grace. Another deep breath in, full breath out. And then inhale and exhale, turn to your left, opening the arms wide. Inhaling and exhale, turn a little bit more. The gaze can look all the way to the left. And one more breath here, filling up the heart. Exhale and release your hands. Good. Let's step all the way back to the front of our mats into a halfway lift, hands on the shins, spine long. Exhale, Uttanasana. Now plug all four corners of your feet in and lead with your heart. Inhale, slowly rise up, the arms follow, palms touch. And on the exhale, thumbs can come straight down the front line of the body and just rest at the heart space. And again, we want to come back onto our plumb line. Let the body self-organize just for a moment around this center line. Backs of the knees soften. Shoulders drip back and down like ice cream melting, like the snow melting. We allow the body to start to thaw, the jaw release, the eyes. Good, and allow a deep breath in. And then I'll open the eyes on the exhale, release the arms down. And we'll move through another Surya Namaskar. Inhale, radiate the arms, widen up. Turn the palms out, exhale, fold forward. Just ride that wave of breath into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, catch that wind. Exhale, step your right leg back first this time. Bring the back knee to the floor. And again, we're gonna come into another twist. So we'll set the right hand down, lift the left arm to the sky. Now try not to collapse your right hip. So you want to keep the hips level as you twist. And soften into your breath. As you inhale, you'll just work a little more space, a little more opening. And as you exhale, a deepening into the core. Yeah. Beautiful. And we'll take one more breath here. And on the exhale, release your hands and we'll step back either to plank or onto the knees. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, lower down onto your bellies and we'll slide and glide right into Cobra. Good. So keep the length in the lumbar spine as you come in. Exhale, lower down. Press back onto the knees and either take the half dog or full dog pose. And breathe. Open up the fascia on the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands. Open. The feet and the hands are actually gateways for energy to come into the body and leave the body. So the inflow and the outflow. And we'll finish out another breath here. Looking up towards the top of the mat, right foot forward. Bring that back knee down to the earth. Good, and inhale, left hand down, right arm to the sky. You're welcome to use a block if you need at any time. Beautiful. And soften, again, keep softening the shoulders, melting. Any emotions that might feel present, Give them space, allow them to soften. And then on the exhale, look down. Beautiful. And we're going to step all the way forward and come into halfway lift. Inhale and exhale, Uttanasana. So let's stay here and we're just going to separate our feet just to a little wider than hip distance. You're welcome to use your block. And then come into another twist. So we'll ground the hips first, right? So you can actually put your left hand on your sacrum and feel that like you could almost put a little tray up there, right? Balance a little tray of tea. Okay, try to keep that. Then as you start to turn the chest to the left, so you're going to plant your right hand down, lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, twist. And either keep the hand on the sacrum, which is kind of nice and grounding, or you can take your left arm up. And just meet that first edge. One of the ways we thaw out, right, we soften is just to meet the edges with kindness, with curiosity, compassion. Great. Just take another breath wherever you are. Great. Yeah. And then on the exhale, look down and rest in Uttanasana here for a moment. If you have a block, hands on the block. Great. And then we'll go to the other side. So setting the left hand down, keep the hips level and either take the hand right onto the sacrum or eventually reaching the right arm up. Yeah. And take a few more breaths as you inhale so you can bring a little more space into each vertebrae. Exhale, look to the right, and then inhale, release. Good, and we'll take our hands to our hips, and if you need to bend your knees, slowly come on up to standing, and we'll walk the feet together. Let's take the hands to the heart or palms facing open and close the eyes. Yeah. So we can stay connected into this inner space, the winter, the kapha, the earth, right? And we can start to feel the stirring with the air and the fire. Great. Okay. So let's come into Utkatasana. Are you guys doing okay out there? Thumbs up. Okay. Let's take the hands together at the heart, bend the knees and stick your butt out. Yeah. So you want to get the inner rotation. So the thighs roll in, the buttocks blossom out, right? You want to feel like you have tail and feathers sticking out of your butt. Yeah. Now keep that and just add a little scoop of your tail, just a little one. And then, so this might be your pose today. You can have the arms wide, arms down by your side, or the arms up. So find your sweet spot. Yeah, good. And we'll take another breath here, sinking maybe another ½ inch. And then take your left elbow, bring it to the outside of the right knee, and hook the hands in namaste. Yeah, try not to push your knees off center. So you want to keep the knees centered, ground the heels and open the chest. Beautiful, Val. Look to your right, breathe. Go slow. There's no need to push ourselves, right? We want to go slow and steady, especially when we have an injury. And then finish your next exhale. Good, and inhale, let's just come out into Uttanasana, hang out. Let your head hang, drip, thaw. Yeah. Great. And then we'll come to the other side. Bend the knees and find your Utkatasana, either arms wide or up overhead. Blossom your little tail feathers. Good. And then we'll go to the other side, right elbow to outside of left knee, hands fold at the heart. Yeah. And breathe. So every in breath brings a little more opening into the lungs, the kidneys. Every out breath, a little softening, release, surrender. One more big in breath. And exhale, let's release, come into forward bend, hang out, shake it out. Yeah, and then we'll inhale, look up, and exhale, let's step back again to downward dog. And we'll reach and stretch back through the sitting bones. And then we're gonna come down onto our knees and take it back into Balasana. And just rest, right? So we pulsate from being a little more active to coming back into the quiet space, checking in with your body. How's your body feeling? How's it thawing? Is there balance, right? Is there a little air, just as Sarah spoke, is there air coming through the little pockets of deep earth? And just take another breath or two as needed. Come back into this beautiful devotional pose. Really, I think of this as like devotion to our practice, ourselves, and to the greater, our own personal development, which ultimately helps the whole, serves the whole. Ah, nice full breath out, big sigh. Great. And then let's inhale. We'll come up again onto all fours. Excellent. Okay. So let's lift the left knee up, left leg. We're going to keep the left leg bent. And just like we did in the beginning, we want to keep the hips level and also keep a little Uddiyana Bandha, so a little tone in the navel. Now, this might be as far as you go today. It's fine. If you want to go a little deeper, try another twist. You're going to reach back with your right hand. See if you can grab a hold of your foot. And if you have your foot, good, Val, then you want to just hug in, keep that inner rotation with the left leg and lift. Push the foot back into the hand, open the chest to the right. Just find a couple of breaths. Yeah. Work from the core. So if we go too fast, we'll lose our balance, right? So just find the balance of stability and opening. That's beautiful. Good, and then exhale, release. Take a moment in the center. You can wag your tail a little bit. And then when you feel ready, we'll go to the other side. So lift the right leg and stabilize the right arm as you reach back and take your foot. Now, if it feels like too much on your back, you're just gonna do the first variation, okay? If you have your foot, squeeze, hug in, lift the belly, and start to open the chest. Yeah. They start to unfold. Is that the word that Catherine used? Unfold. And then exhale, release, beautiful. Let's come back into our half dog, our puppy pose. And reach, breathe deeply. Okay. So I'm feeling a couple of standing poses coming on. And so we'll come back into downward facing dog. Yeah. And I just think for keeping the back healthy today, we're gonna come to standing poses from standing rather than downward dog. So let's walk up to the front of our mats. It's a little more symmetrical, hands on the hips, and slowly rise up. Yeah. Good. And then we'll separate the feet about one leg length. You want to have your block today. And so we're going to go from triangle to half moon. And I'll give you guys lots of modifications. This is really nice and stabilizing to the back. So we'll inhale from here, open the arms wide. So right foot's turned out, left foot in. And then exhale as you come over, tip the hips up and over. And place the hand on the block. Yeah. And then left arm up to the sky. And feel for a moment just the support. I love using props because they're so supportive. And there's nothing wrong with support. And then open up the feet, the foundation, ground the big toe mound of the front foot, outer edge of the back foot, and feel how that opens up the spine. Look up towards the ceiling, little smile. Good, good. Calf, take your head back a little more. Yes. Open the heart, look towards spring. Look towards the possibility. Good. Soften your wrist a little bit here. Oh. Great. And then we'll finish our breath all the way out. Ground the legs and inhale. Actually, we'll do both sides of triangle, then we'll do half moon. So we're going to turn to the left, place your block. How are we doing?
Good. I'm just noticing how different placement is when you come and adjust me of my hips. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Good. Good. And then so from here, take a peek at your feet. Make sure they're set right. Spread the toes. Inhale a big breath in. So get nice and opened up with this in breath, right? And then there's the outflow of breath as you come up and over. Placing the hand on the block and turn to look up towards the thumb. And breathe. So when you first come in, just feel the whole shape, the whole feeling of the pose. Head comes back. We open up the chest, open up the heart. Feel into our potential. Yeah. Yeah. And breathe with the in breath. You can feel the spine extending, opening. And the out breath, just a slight turn. Your left chest towards the ceiling. Great, you guys. Just taking another breath or two here. And then finishing your next breath, ground your feet and push into the legs, right? So you get grounded in the legs to come up. And then we'll go to the other side again. Just take a little transition time, placing the block back on the ground. Okay, so with the half moon pose, we've got to get a lot of stability. Okay, so we're going to work that first. Inhale, the arms open. Exhale, up and over into triangle. Bend the front knee. Step your back foot in halfway and then walk out with the block. So block is about 1.5 feet in front of the little toe. And you'll come up and just find the stability first. So the left hand on the hip. Ground that right leg. The big external rotation with the right thigh as you pull the tailbone under, then start to open. Yeah. Good. And then eventually the gaze looks up, but don't make that your goal. First, find the stability and breathe. Yeah. One more breath here. Inhale. And then on the exhale, look down, bend the knee. with grace, step all the way back with as much grace as you can, I should say. And then we'll turn over to the other side, placing the block down. And we'll take a nice big breath with the arms wide. Inhale, exhale, up and over triangle pose. Bend your front knee. Take a step in with your back foot and hop up onto the left leg. So again, start with that stability, right? Big external rotation with your left thigh, scoop the tailbone. And Val, bring that top leg a little bit forward so you can see it like in your peripheral vision. Yeah. And then scoop the tail. I know it's a different feeling, right? So we don't want to have that right leg back behind us. It's out in front and we scoop the tailbone in. Open up the feet, both the feet. Good. It's okay. It's okay to come out. We just want to come back in. Good. And then exhale, look down, bend the knee and step all the way back to triangle. And then we'll come on up, turn the feet parallel. And let's just step in, hands fold at the heart. Regroup. Yeah. Listen to your breath. Let your body find that center, working the balance of front to back, side to side, inner to outer, right? In breath to out breath. Find the settling that happens. That beautiful relationship with gravity. When we're frozen, we're actually out of relationship with gravity. Gravity actually helps us to thaw, to unfreeze. Yeah. And then from here, let's open the eyes. Let's take the feet about one leg length apart. Prasarita Padottanasana, hands to the hips. Good, lift the quad muscles, wake up the feet, open the chest, big breath. And exhale. You can come forward with the knees bent if that's helpful. Hands come between the feet. Take an extra breath here. Inhale and exhale, fold. Come back to your breathing. Just breathing into the different sensations that are revealing themselves in your body. No judgment. And then we'll take another deep breath in and follow the exhale. And then on the in breath, walk your hands out and we'll walk to the right, to the top of our mats in a lunge. Back knee comes to the floor. Good. And I need to check the time because I'm in the flow, which is always great, but yeah, time is flying. Let's scoot the foot, the right foot to the left, and we'll come down into a half pigeon. So just find that sweet spot for you in your body and take a deep breath in, opening the chest. And exhale, we'll walk the hands out, come down onto the elbows or further if you like. And breathe. So we just come back to the internal space, the earth, the pelvis, stability. And we'll settle in for one more big breath. Great. And then let's inhale. Come up and we'll walk the hands over to the left and place your right elbow down on the sticky mat, sort of towards the end of the mat, right? The edge of the mat is what I mean. And then you'll plant your hands together in Namaste And inhale, lengthen from tail to crown. And on the exhale, turn and look to your left. So you're going to work that twist, inhaling and exhale. Yeah. Great. And then we'll inhale. Let's come back to center. And then let's go all the way over onto the right hip. And we'll bring that left leg all the way around into Marichyasana. Okay, so now we're going to take a twist to the other side. So you're going to wrap your arm around the front of the shin or the outside of the knee. Either one is fine. Fingertips towards the ceiling. And then sink down first. So go to the yield, right? Go to the letting that left sitting bone go down. And then grow up tall through the spine. Inhale and exhale. Right? So it's important, right, just in our bodies as well, to just not jump out, like Kay was saying, to find the balance, right, of the kapha and the earth and the water as we start working with fire and air. Stabilize the emotions, stabilize the mind. Just taking another couple of breaths, seeing if you can get a little more space. Exhale, beautiful. And then inhale. Woo. How are we doing? I feel like I'm working through a lot. Are you guys? All right, just as a little in between before we go to the other side, let's sit back in our boat. Imagine we're just in a nice warm climate, maybe on the Caribbean or something, just resting back in your boat. And you can take whatever variation of boat, which is what we just did, take the back of the hamstrings or the full boat. So you see where your body's at this morning. Just working a little bit of the core. So navel comes in, heart lifted. Great. And then we'll squeeze it back in and we're going to come over into pigeon. I think it's is it the left? Okay. Left leg. Yes, you're right. Always gets a little confusing in there. Okay, so back thigh bone rolls in, and then take a big breath and lift up out of the pelvis. So get some space in the psoas here, heart, chest, and then exhale, walk it out. So you'll find your sweet balance. Go to that edge in your body and breathe. I find that as we go from winter towards spring, you know, there's this sort of like inner bubbling, kind of like Sarah was talking about, a little bubbling inside. I have to have a lot of patience. We might be kind of done with the cold, done with the snow, but can we kind of milk it for all that it brings? Allow your hips to go deep into the earth here. Rest your body, your heart. And then inhale, very slowly, we'll make our way back up. And we're gonna roll to the left hip and we'll bring the back leg around, cross over the foot. And again, see if you can find some ground through the right sitting bone and sit up tall. And for me, this side's a little tricky this morning, so I'm just gonna stabilize. And then you either take the arm around the front or the outer. Good, Val. Yeah. And just work upward. We want to find the vertical. Whenever we're doing a twist, we find that vertical extension first. Yeah. So if kapha is earth, it can take us a little more horizontal eventually, right? So the air, vata, the pitta, the fire, can start to bring us a little up into our center more. Deepening in with the breath and exhaling, twist. Beautiful. And then inhale, we'll come back and we'll come back to our boat. One more boat. One more boat. Yes, Kay. Shine those feet. I love it. Yeah, so find your boat. You can either hold the back of the knees, hamstrings, or stretch the arms out. Breathe deeply. Activate a little bit of that fire. Smiling. Great. And then let's bring the knees in. We'll cross the legs and we're going to scoot our way back into downward facing Adho Mukha. Great. Okay. Let's come down onto our knees. And I'm going to finish up with just a little back bending with starting with the dolphin pose. So we'll come onto our forearms. You want to clasp your hands together, bring the elbows just shoulder width apart here. And then we want to find the ground here. So you can move your chest forward until you feel the forearms rooting deeply, right? Then soften and melt your heart without collapsing the lower ribs. So we keep the ribs sewing in. Melt the heart. Then tuck your toes, lift your knees, and you're going to assess, do I have more space to walk in my shoulders, or do I need a little more space to walk back out? Yeah. So find that balance and breathe. Wait for the opening. So when we have patience, we allow spirit to come in and open and flow more. Spirit is more of the air, right? Feel the flow of the in-breath and the out-breath, softening, opening the shoulders, the heart. Yep. How's that? Good. Good. Another couple of breaths, and when you've had enough, you can make your way down into Balasana again, child's pose. Great. Just take a breath or two here. Awesome. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna come on up and we'll do let's do our last back bend of the day. And then I'd like to do some pranayama before we go into Shavasana. This pranayama is cultivating the element of air. So we'll come up onto the knees for Ustrasana. And there's a couple variations. If you have a couple blocks and you want to use blocks, I'm going to start with the toes tucked under. So I'll suggest you guys try that too. And if you want to use 2 blocks, you're welcome to put them by your ankles. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. Okay, so the big thing to know here is you guys know all this, I'm just reviewing, but to squeeze, like we had that block in the beginning, you want to squeeze in, move the block back, and then drop the tail. So find the extension of the tail, right? And then you go into it, you have that stability in the base of your body. You can take the banker's pose, thumbs under the armpits, and open the chest. And then this might be your pose, okay? Especially if you're dealing with the back stuff, calf, just really listen. And then if you feel like you can go further, reach back, down. Maybe you touch the blocks. Maybe you bring your hands all the way to your heels. If you notice any instability in your back, you want to back off. If you are here, work the opening, work the heart opening, the air, breathe. You listen to your body. This is part of your practice, is being able to listen. Right? What's too far? Where's your balance? Yeah. And your body might be a little different here in the kapha season. It might feel a little more stiff, a little more cranky. Just give it the space it needs. And then you come out by finishing the breath and inhaling, coming up, leading with the chest. Exhale, sit back on your heels, and we'll just rest here for a moment. Eyes closed, just feel. Find your ujjayi breath. See if you can soften any frozenness in your face, your jaw. Invite the airy, the spaciousness. You might even want to move your shoulders a little bit to find that. So what would it be like if you were ice and you were melting from the hot sun? That similar sensation. And so any of those emotions that maybe are like ancestral, they've been around for generations and generations. I saw that this weekend just being in New York and my East Coast upbringing, where I think you just have to be a little hardier and harder back there. And we don't need to hold on to it, right? It serves its purpose when it serves its purpose. And then we want to release it when we need to release it. So we're going to go right from here into a comfortable seat, and you can lie on your back as well. So you decide how you want to do the pranayam. So we'll do Nadi Shodhana sitting, and if you're on your back, you can also do Nadi Shodhana on your back. So we'll use the right hand, folding in the index finger and middle finger, using the thumb and ring finger to close off the nostrils. So eyes closed, just make sure your spine is vertical and supported. Relax your jaw, your face. Relax the tension. That's the most important thing. Tongue is resting on the roof of the mouth, and breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Lengthening each in-breath and extending each out-breath. And inhale, deep breath in. And then we're going to close off the right nostril, breathe out through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, breathe out through the right. So you're not going to use a lot of pressure, just enough to gently close the nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Focus is on the third eye. Exhale right. Lift the attention up to the third eye. Exhale left. So obviously find your own pace. Notice what's tensing. Just keep softening it, like you're melting. One more round. Inhaling, exhaling, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. And then just release your hand, breathe in through both nostrils. Breathe out through both. Another breath or two. And then let go of the breath. You're welcome to either keep sitting or lie back for Shavasana. Find your comfort place. So I'm going to read you a daily contemplation by Hafiz, and this is for February 17th. It's a great book. He has the whole year. It's called These Candles Are Bodies. So just allow yourself to fully rest back, releasing the breath. Even if you're in sitting position, just rest the shoulders back. Soften the body. These candles, our bodies, see how they burn. How many hours will they last? Days, months, years? Look at the warmth and comfort we can give to each other or to anything that comes close. One of the components of lasting art is a spirit flame within the created that can ignite inspiration and hope and survive time's wave. One of the components of lasting art is a spirit flame within the created that can ignite inspiration and hope and survive time's wave. So wherever you are, just taking a few more moments to drop, to settle. To feel the earth really holding your bones, your body. And when we surrender to that fully, we can feel that eternal love. So we'll very slowly come back into the body with some deeper breath. Just feeling the breath kind of lighten and awaken the tissues, the organs. And then as you begin to deepen the breath, begin to find a little more movement in the ankles, the wrists, the fingertips, the toes, enlivening your body. And then we'll stretch the arms overhead and we'll roll to the right side, taking a moment on the side and pausing. And with the eyes closed, we'll press our way up to a comfortable seat if you're not already there. And join the hands here at the heart, sealing in the practice. Namaste. Gratitude. Beautiful. It's like that ending. It's just, thank you, thank you. And now, hubbies. Thank you, beautiful women. Thank you for coming this morning.